Hello, I'm Peter Vaughan, and today I'm up in the northwest, to be precise at the Caravan and Motorhome Club's BERTHS Country Park site near Bury. And the vehicle I have for you today is the Bürstner Sovereign Collection 744. Now, with a name like that, I feel almost as if I should be wearing a crown. Tiaras don't suit me. So what is the Sovereign Collection? Well, it's new for 2025, but on the outgoing, if you like, 2024 Fiat Cab. So the real message here is that the Sovereign Collection is offering you a value package, high spec and a more competitive price. This particular one starts at £86,690. There are 4 models in the range. This 744 has a lounge at the front and a second lounge at the back, a very UK friendly layout. But if you're looking for something a bit more continental, in the same 7.36 metre length, there is the 736 with an island bed at the back, or the 727 with fixed single beds at the rear. If you want something a bit more compact, the 4th model in the Sovereign range is the 594, and that is a little just under 6 metre compact model. So, as I said, this vehicle is 7.36 metres long. It's also 2.99 metres high and 2.3 metres wide. It's on a 3,850 kilo maximum gross weight chassis, so you will need a C1 category on your driving licence. However, that does give it a standard payload of 582 kilos. This particular vehicle does have some options on it, most expensive of which is the Fiat 9-speed automatic gearbox. That alone is £4,130. Total price of this vehicle is £93,000, and those options do of course bring down the payload a little bit, so you've got a total payload on this one of 467 kilos. So what else isn't standard? Well, the 100-watt solar panel on the roof is standard, and so is this 2-lay awning with the full-length LED light. That too is standard. But the optional extras, apart from the automatic gearbox, well, there's an extra vent in the kitchen, an Omni vent with the fan built in. That's £220. And although this vehicle is normally a 4-berth, this example is a 5-berth with 5 travel seats. So the extra belted travel seat, that's £710, and the extra bed made from the front dinette, that is £450. There's also an outside shower, that's £230, a second leisure battery for £430, and a second TV holder so you can have tellies in the front and the rear lounge, and that's £140. So total sum of the options, £6,310. So the base vehicle is the Series 9 Fiat Ducato, which I have to say I think is a lot prettier than the new Series 10. Branded Bürstner, of course, rather than Fiat, and it comes with the 140 horsepower engine, this Lanzarote grey finish, some optional extras included in the Sovereign Collection package, so you get things like the 10-inch display on the dashboard, the electric parking brake, you get these rather nice alloy wheels, you get the black grille and the black surrounds to the headlights with LED daytime running lights too. The overcab sunroof is standard, as are these running boards, which neatly merge the body with the Fiat cab and also make getting in and out a little easier. And then you've got these nice fully flush framed windows, always a Bürstner touch that I rather like. In here, no, it's not your cassette toilet servicing hatch, but actually access to your fresh water tank, both for filling and for maintenance with this servicing hatch. When you're filling, you have this device so that you don't drip water into the vehicle. That's quite neat. Water capacity is 105 litres, and of course properly winterised, being in there under the seat, and it has the boiler next to it. The boiler vent here, well, the combi is here, the 6E, the 6 kilowatt gas and electric version. Moving back, well, you've got your gas compartment. That takes two 11 kilo cylinders, and they're side by side for easier changeovers and nice and low down, so you're not lifting them, hoiking them up really high. Wastewater tank is indicated here. Nice large bore outlet, and you need this sort of key to empty it. Just fit that and twist, and then it's a 90 litre underslung wastewater tank. Moving back, you've got your external shower point. Attach the hose, and it's hot and cold water. That is one of the options, as I mentioned earlier. Mains hookup, of course, and then at the back, well, because you've got a lounge at the back, it's not a true garage, but plenty of room in there for your outdoor chairs, barbecue, and all that sort of stuff. Sovereign spec includes a second loading door for your rear storage. Internal height under the majority of the area here is a maximum of 57.5 centimetres, about 22.5 inches. There's a light here at this end, a main socket over on the other side, and your awning winding handle is neatly clipped to the back wall. And you've also got these adjustable lashing points so you can secure heavier things like maybe some folding bicycles. And if you go for the fifth berth and fifth travel seat option, well, the extra bits, that's the travel seat, for example, the extra bits will probably be stored, well, I think you'll have to store them in the garage. Part one of the extra bed. So that's your garage, then external TV point, toilet servicing hatch, and your external barbecue point. So I'll just conclude our tour of the outside by mentioning this lovely deep picture window, which we'll see on the inside a bit later on. And then the habitation door, which is linked to your Fiat central locking. The electric step, which doesn't automatically retract, although there is a warning buzzer. And as you can see, it's a wide door. This van was at the show and they marked the door with XL. I did wonder if maybe I should be wearing that, but hey, it's an XL habitation door with a bin on it, and these couple of little storage pockets too. As you come in, the first thing to notice is the Bürstner thermo floor, which they describe as an insulated sandwich construction floor. Two things to note: well, it's better for winterization, firstly, and secondly, perhaps even more importantly for some customers, it means a flat floor right through the living area from the cab right back to the rear lounge. There are no steps inside this motorhome. Then, well, when you come forward into the front lounge, it's all very conventional. Slightly restricted headroom by the front drop down bed. It's about 5'10", 1.78 metres under there. But once you're sitting down, it is a light and spacious area. Roman blind on the side window over there. No window behind the side seat on the off side, but you've got that deep window in the habitation door, and of course the big opening over cab sunroof. As I say, a conventional half dinette seating area at the front with belted seats for two rear passengers, and then I'll show you the extra rear passenger seat in just a moment. Table, of course, clipped to the wall and perfectly big enough for family dining, especially as it has this extension leaf that just swings out. Harmony line upholstery with this mix of cloth and faux leather, quite attractive, I think. And that sort of mixes to the sort of overall sort of beige and brown scheme inside this vehicle. And the carpets too are part of the standard Sovereign Collection specification. There's a fabulous range of interior lighting in the van, particularly under the drop-down bed here, and then these reading lights that just clip onto a rail so you can have them exactly where you want them, and of course they're directional as well. And then where you've got this overcab shelf, not much use while you're driving because there's nothing to keep stuff up there, but you have got in this corner a charging point for your Bürstner home light if you buy one of those as an optional extra. As you move back through the van, of course, when you're not under that drop down bed, the headroom is much greater, 2.05 metres or 6 foot 8.5. In this area too, you've got your TV station for the front lounge, good visibility of the telly from the cab seats. You've got your Truma heater control there as well, and this nice looking control panel, very Bürstner again, and also 12 volt main socket and USBs with this practical shelf area as well. But I think the thing you really want to see, because what makes this 744 layout so special, is the rear lounge. Now this isn't a traditional British style U-shaped lounge, but an L shape, and it is a really comfortable space to put your feet up, somewhere to relax, quite different from the sort of dining area up front. This is open and spacious. You've got windows on three sides and that big picture window on the offside. Yes, all the windows have Roman blinds to give you privacy, but what you really want surely is to enjoy the view out through that big window. Again, there's a TV point, and the TV's nice and low down. It's not one where you're looking up in the sky to it. Again, there's reduced headroom here, but again with the illumination set into the drop down bed above, so lots of artificial light back here, and again these reading lights that you can adjust on the rails. Scatter cushions and armrests just add to the comfort back here. It really is a nice place to sit and relax. And then you've got this swing out table, so if you do want to have a meal back here, perhaps a light meal, and it has a leg to support it, so if you wanted to entertain in the evening, you have somewhere for your drinks. It's fair to say that this table, I think, took a bit of a pounding when the van was at the NEC show, so don't consider the wobbliness as it swings out as being how they are. You've got USB ports down here as well, and a main socket as well as the main socket on the wall for your telly, and then useful cabinet space along the offside here too. Now, just as in the front lounge, you've got top lockers despite the fact you've got drop down beds front and rear, and they are decent sized cupboards too, not those little pokey things sometimes that you see under drop down beds. There's also some storage under the side seat here, this part of the L, there's a bit of storage in there, and of course in the front lounge you've got a bit of storage under that side seat. And then moving forward, when you want a bit of privacy, you have this sliding door. Completely shuts off the rear lounge or rear bedroom as it will become later on. And then here you've got a decent sized wardrobe, good hanging length, and a useful shelf above as well. A couple of other things to note before we move on to the kitchen. One is that there is heater ducting running right the way around the rear lounge behind the cushions. That's really good for keeping things cosy in the winter. And note too, this little corner shelf, ideal for a cuppa or a gin and tonic. One thing I nearly forgot to show you, because I've had the carpets down, is that there are a couple of hidden storage areas in the double floor, only about 11 centimetres deep, but useful concealed space nonetheless, especially as with the carpets down, well, nobody know they were there, so you could use them for valuable gear. the L-shaped kitchen backs onto the front lounge. It's got good size top locker, and an interesting feature here is this little pigeonhole at the side, so you can put things in there when you're sleeping in that front drop down bed. Of course, for the UK you get the Thetford triplex cooker as standard, 3 gas rings and then a combined oven and grill below. There's not a lot of drawer space, most of it's cupboards, but you have got a cutlery drawer underneath the oven there. And my favourite feature is this pull-out storage, very generous for all your packet foods, tins and so on. And then in here you have got quite a tall cupboard, so your cereal packets will go in there, and your gas shut-off valves are also in that space. One main socket which I'm using for my coffee machine, and this loose cover for the sink just gives you a bit more worktop space, a little bit on this side as well, but enough in this L-shape area. And then over on the other side you've got your tall Dometic fridge. It's a 139 litre fridge freezer, and that's automatic energy selection, so it chooses for itself whether to work on gas, 12 volt while you're driving, or mains if you're hooked up. Then in the middle of the layout you've got your ablutions area. Toilet on the off side, shower on the near side. And the shower has got a step in it, but it's a good size. You've got more than 2 metres of headroom in there, your little shelf for your shampoo and conditioner and so on. Roof vent above to let the steam out, a drying rail for any wet clothes or towels. Just this one little drain at the front, but it is a proper shower with doors rather than a curtain. Just check for size if you've got big feet, because, well, with that step it does restrict moving space unless you stand with 1 foot on the step. And then of course you've got that screen that comes across the door, that comes across to shut off ablutions area from the back of the vehicle, and then the toilet door swings round and closes it off to the front of the van. Now in the toilet area the loo itself is rather high, but it's on a plinth and there is a little step area in front of it, so again try that for yourself, see if you're comfortable with it. The basin is shallow, but it's a really good size, and a big mirror above, another roof vent, storage behind me and under the basin with the sort of Germanic toilet roll that pokes out through a little slit. You've got hooks over here for small towels, hand towels, and on the other side for robes and your main shower bath towel. So it's a decent sized space. Just make sure you're comfortable on that loo. As I've mentioned, this Bürstner is one of those rare vans that has not 1 but 2 drop down beds, both electric and both key operated, so the kids can't fiddle with them. In the case of the rear lounge you do need to move some cushions first, particularly this odd shaped corner cushion that makes the L, and of course also this little corner coffee table that just lifts off. Scatter cushions need to come out as well, but the main backrest cushions, well, they can just lie flat. And then just keep your finger on the button and the bed comes right down until it's touching the armrests. Now that's the factory setting. The dealer can actually adjust it so that it goes down even lower, so that it's actually right down to the seat base level. Either way, you've got a pull-out step, just slides out from underneath the wardrobe, and that gives you fairly easy access without a ladder. And then up here, well, the bed measures 1.97 metres long by 1.4 metres wide. That's 6'5.5" by 4'7", and you've got a roof vent above for ventilation and spotlights over the head of the bed on the near side. You could even just about watch the telly, but it is a bit low and you'd probably need to sit up in bed to do so. Now up front, before I show you the drop down bed, I'll show you this fifth berth. This cushion here is supported with a leg at one end. The table goes down to half height, and then you use this cushion, and the backrest from over here is not a very satisfactory bed, but it is a good size, 2.08 metres long by 98 centimetres wide, and that's 6'10" by 3'2½". But it's not very flat. These cushions look as if they'll move as you sleep, so very much an occasional child's berth. Much better is the drop down bed above. So the second drop down bed, and again you need the magic key. Again, keep your finger just pressed on the button and the bed comes right down. It does block the door, but your kitchen is still fully accessible. This time, of course, you do need the ladder because the bed is that bit higher up. And this time the bed is 1.98 metres by 1.32, or 6'6" by 4'4". And it's worth noting that with both beds you can leave your duvet and pillows in situ when the bed is up, so you don't have to worry about bedding storage. Your bed, as soon as it comes down, is ready to be occupied. Plenty of ventilation again because you've got a roof vent directly above. How pleased am I to see drop down beds with their own ventilation. So often that's missing. If it's really hot, you've even got the opening over cab sunroof just to the side there, so even more ventilation. You've got that little pigeonhole that we spotted earlier, and again spotlights on the near side. And this time the TV is in the perfect place for watching telly in bed. Last thing to mention on sort of nighttime mode is you've got pleated blinds on all the habitation windows and cab blinds, well, around the cab. So the final thing to show you before we go for a drive is the fifth travel seat. Now, you just remove the cushions from the side seat, probably stow those away in the garage, and then we've retrieved this fifth seat from the garage and it slots into place and then secures with a seatbelt strap at the back. As you can see, it's a rear facing seat with just a lap strap. You haven't got much view here, a little bit out through the window in the door, but I certainly wouldn't want to travel very far sitting here. So, time then to go for a drive. So, driving this Bürstner, well, yes, it's another Fiat Ducato, and whilst it isn't the very latest Series 10, well, it doesn't look a lot different in here. Things to spot, well, you do get all the spec with this Sovereign collection, so leather steering wheel with all the switches and so on for your cruise control on here, phone of course, and then underneath the arms of the steering wheel you've got volume control for the radio. Radio, well, that is on this 10-inch display, the Uconnect display, Fiat's own rather than an aftermarket system, and that does your reversing camera. It's got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto as well. So yeah, it all looks very nice. Still got the plasticky dashboard, but this is as good as a Fiat Ducato gets. Only the 140 horsepower engine, but that seems adequate. We've been up some pretty steep inclines here in Lancashire and it copes okay, but remember, we are driving lightly laden. I haven't been out on any motorways. Do bear in mind there's quite a long rear overhang on this vehicle, and I'd be wary about putting too much weight in that garage, but then of course it isn't a full height garage anyway. Other than that, yeah, it's the firm ride, typical Fiat, nice precise steering. Firm ride, but not too many rattles. I can hear a sort of squeaking, creaking noise, which I'm assuming is coming from the front drop-down bed. So maybe they'll be able to adjust that out at the dealer PDI. Otherwise, pretty quiet from the conversion noise point of view, which is impressive considering the state of our roads. Other features, well, you've got the digital air conditioning rather than just the push on and off, so you can set the temperature that you want. You've even got an inductive phone charger in there. Surprised to see the storage bin rather than the cup holders down on the centre console, but well, doesn't make too much difference really. You've still got a bottle holder on the door and a cup holder, smallish cup holder, over on the passenger side. Other features, well, you've got traction plus, hill holder. So yeah, as I say, all the toys in this one. So the Bürstner Liceo Sovereign 744, time to sum up. And if you're looking for a reason to buy this van, it's certainly this rear lounge. A really comfortable place to relax with views all around, and particularly that big picture window. It's a lovely, inviting and comfortable space. Now, I'm not sure about this van as a 5-berth. Both the extra travel seat and the extra berth, both optional extras, they're both rather compromised. So consider it as a 4-berth, and for 4 of you with 2 drop-down double beds, 2 seating areas, it works really well, as long as you can live without a proper garage. You have still got decent amount of storage though, because of that rear external storage under the rear lounge here. And well, there's a lot to like. It's a nice stylish interior with great lighting, and the spec is good throughout, albeit on the pre-facelift, if you like, the Series 9 Fiat Ducato. But then some people may actually prefer the fact that you've got an extra ratio on the automatic gearbox, 9-speed versus 8, and of course that prettier external look on the cab. It's a good price considering the spec, and well, there's not a lot to dislike. Just remember that when you bring the front bed down, that does block your door, so that is a limiting factor coming and going once that front bed is occupied. Kitchen could do with a few more drawers, but you have got that nice pull-out storage unit, and the washroom works well with the proviso, remember, of that high toilet. Just try that for yourself. So all round a very appealing motorhome because of the 2 seating areas and particularly this lovely rear lounge. Thanks for watching. Remember, all our videos are brought to you by Out and About Live, where you'll find lots more information about motorhomes and reviews of models that we haven't been able to video, going back years and years. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.